Women make up half of the world's population, and yet 70% are in poverty. 70% of the world's poor are women, according to data of WorldNet.org. For the million of women in poverty, their lives are a litany of injustice, discrimination, and the obstacles getting in the way of their basic needs. As I said before, women make up 70% of the world's 1 billion poorest people. My name is Sara Beth Coffey. I have been a marketing representative for Johnson & Johnson for the past 2 years, and have seen all of our philanthropic goals come to be, as well as an active supporter of the Women's Multi-Finance Initiative. I am dedicated to supporting women in supporting themselves. Today I'd like to talk to you about a particular initiative that is completely in line with Johnson & Johnson's philanthropic goals, and explain exactly why this donation would impact the lives of millions of women and take them out of poverty. The work done by the Women's Microfinance Initiative goes very closely in affiliation with the work that we are already supporting from Every Woman, Every Child. In 2011, our company actually made an obligation to support every woman, every child for the next 5 years. And we have been donating to them consistently. However, I think that the Women's Microfinance Initiative could take it a step further. It would expand upon our philanthropic goals, because not only would we be serving poor women, but we would also be serving a greater community, a global community. The purpose of this would be to, like I said before, donate money to this Women's Microfinance Initiative. What I'm proposing is a donation of $5 million. Now, Johnson & Johnson, we're a huge company, and that definitely wouldn't be the biggest donation that we've made. However, the difference with the Women's Microfinance Initiative would be that we would be seeing that money come back. It would be a redistribution, so we would get it back in our taxes. Rather than giving the money specifically to this organization, we would be getting it back, so it's a redistribution of the money we're already giving. And if we can succeed, we can increase this number. Now, I'd like to share a small story with you. This is a success story of the Women's Microfinance Initiative. Now, this is Sudha in the bottom right-hand corner. She lives in Uttar Pradesh, a region in northern India. Jobs are hard to find there. And she was with her husband supporting 5 children until he died. She was left widowed. Jobs are difficult to find in northern India. So she came to the Women's Microfinance Initiative and took out a loan for 10,000 rupees, only 225 American dollars. With this loan, she was able to buy a buffalo and build a small tea stand outside of her home. Through this, she was able to feed her family and keep her daughter in school. She would not have been able to do that without the help of the Women's Microfinance Initiative. Why women in particular? Like we stated before, they make up 70% of the world's 1 million poorest people. In all different parts of the world, there are women that are being discriminated against. They're in poverty, and it's very difficult for them to find jobs. Now, my 3 main points today: how does the Women's Microfinance Initiative affect the community, how they can help, and how it aligns with our philanthropic goals. So essentially, how it correlates to the work that we're already doing with every woman, every child. Now, to make a significant impact on the world, Women's Microfinance Initiative is putting into action that we're addressing the poor in addressing their own needs. We believe that it is our desire to improve our lives, every single one of them, and giving the poor of our nation the ability to improve, to get better, knowledge, training, how to budget an account, how to start your own business. We're giving them the ability to build their better future. I'd like to present you guys with a little bit of a handout, so I'm going to pass this. This is essentially what Women's Microfinance is. So our philosophy is very simple. You give a man fish and he eats for a day. You teach a man to fish and he will eat for a lifetime. This goes hand in hand with the Women's Microfinance Initiative. By providing women with initial loans to start small businesses, we will give them a lifetime of opportunity. We will give them the tools to become self-sufficient, empowered, and knowledgeable. Now, I have our mission, our goals, and our history. However, I think it could be summarized in a short video. So I'll let you guys all read over that. I would like you guys to meet Alice.
I'm a W in my borrower. I'm called by name's Monje Alice. I'm in a blue group, first group. Right now, I'm now taking an independent loan of 2 million. And I'm now repaying very well. Now I have 9 children now. 5 boys, 4 girls. Now the husband is the eldest child. Yeah. My husband is called Monje Jackson. It's a big family. My business is, I'm dealing in poultry. That's the main business. Poultry is a very good business. So when it's why you add in more lines of businesses, but poultry is the main business. When the chicken start laying eggs, there is a daily income. You never lack money. Every day you get at least something every day. And that enables me to uplift my family. I divide the profit accordingly as I was trained here, and I'm now also a trainer. I know how to budget. I know how to write records. Whenever I go to spend any money, I have to look at my budget first. The standards of living, like meals and whatever, clothing and so on. We are now well off. Yeah.
So as you can see, that is just one success story of many. Not only does the Women's Microfinance Initiative give these women the initial money to start off, it also teaches them how to budget, teaches them how to keep track of their money, how to invest it. And it's something that you can see going through the entire civilization, going through all of the community. Now, I'm asking $5 million. In the past, we have donated $210 million in the past 10 years. On average, we donate $21 million a year. And our comprehensive 5-year commitment to every woman, every child aims to reach 120 million women. By donating to WMI, Women's Microfinance Initiative, we will see that money come back in taxes. Donating to this organization aligns with our philanthropic goals because similar to every woman, every child, we're addressing women's employment, women's health, by living a healthier lifestyle, by having more money to feed your family, by having more money to be able to nourish yourself, be able to keep everything together, keep the household together, keep yourself out of danger or violence. It'll make a difference because by addressing the poor's unique needs, we are giving back. We're giving back to women in particular, that, like we said before, 70% of the world's 1 million poorest people. Now, I've got one more story for you guys, and that is, there was a critically acclaimed book, Half the Sky, that we all recently read, and in it, the importance of microfinance loans is very highlighted. There's one story among many that demonstrates the assistance of microfinance loans. In the story, it is about a young Cambodian girl that is taken captive into sex slavery. And when she is released, her family really doesn't have the money to support her. There are people coming after her. However, she gets a microfinance loan. And years to come later, when they interview her, she now has a retail business and is not only supporting herself, but her entire family. So you can see women's microfinance loans doesn't just affect the individual, it trickles down. It's something that keeps giving back. We need to connect the world's poor to their potential. By donating $5 million that are in fact tax deductible, we can assist women in bettering themselves and brightening their futures. Global poverty and women's gender inequality is a real and multidimensional problem that is intricate and complex. However, by giving them the tools to support themselves, to better their education, to better their lives, and eventually to create businesses that can sustain not only themselves, but generations to come, we are aiding the women's movement in all different types of countries. With our donation, 1 million women would be assisted. If I could ask you to go back to this little document I passed out, the loan amounts range from $50 to $150. So essentially, like with $100, you could aid a group of 20 women, because that's the group that borrows the money. It's not just a single person. They work collaboratively in order to pay back this money. You could assist 20 women. So with a donation of $5 million, you would assist 1 million women in getting better lives, in supporting themselves, in supporting their families. Through this group of women, they learn how to pay back, they support each other, and they have weekly support group meetings and become local coordinators that can visit on a weekly basis. So it's essentially supporting itself consistently over and over again. Again, women represent 70% of the world's poor, and together we can end the cycle of poverty and oppression, one microloan at a time. Thank you guys so much. Are there any questions?
I have a couple. My first one is, how do you determine which women's microfinance groups you'll serve?
That's an excellent question, thank you. Well, essentially the Women's Microfinance Loan is a broad organization. However, we have central hubs in different countries. So we have, like I said before, the story of the woman in India. That was cash poor. So it goes back to Women's Microfinance Loan, but it's run by the local economy. And so local women come in and they come together in groups of 20, like we said before, and borrow back these, what they would consider large sums of money. For us, not really, $200 for 20 women. And that's how they pay them back together.
So the organization has connecting points in different countries?
Yes.
And all of those connecting points get to participate?
Yes.
Gotcha.
So are the countries that the WMI serve, are they just third world countries?
No, there's actually different countries in Latin America. So essentially we began in East Africa, but we've actually expanded so much to where we now have them all through Central and Latin America. So it's not just third world countries. However, we haven't really gotten into the first world country yet, just because we're still growing. But thank you for that question.
So we're already contributing significantly to,
Every Woman, Every Child, which is not affiliated with the Women's Finance Initiative.
and so we would continue to do that and add this additional $5 million.
Yes. However, this $5 million, unlike Every Woman, Every Child, would be tax deductible. So it's essentially a redistribution of the money we're already paying. So we can
Can you
choose.
explain that better?
Yes.
For some reason I'm not understanding.
Okay, so for example, I'll give a personal example. When I was in elementary school, I attended a private Catholic school. And every year, the school would ask for a donation to what they called CTODP, which is essentially you can write off a certain amount of your taxes to Catholic schools in order to aid children that aren't able to go to a Catholic school otherwise. So it's an organization that's funded in order to provide for these children. So it's the money you would already be giving for taxes, but redistribute it, put in a different spot. And so as a company, we're able to do the exact same thing. So we can choose where we want our money to go. And as part of our philanthropic goal of assisting every woman, every child, I would like to present the idea that we could also aid the multi-finance loans.
Gotcha.
So as part of the program, we give a loan to 20 women, and then they work together to pay it back. How is that monitored or tracked?
Oh, excellent question. Thank you so much. And I know we are almost out of time, but that's tracked by the central hub, like I stated before. So we have these volunteers that go in different countries, and they begin the microfinance loan hub. So they're working with the local community, and they're in charge of the ones that distribute the money. They have, like on the paper before, they have the weekly meetings, and Although no collateral is required, the term is only 6 months, so they can go in and take back whatever they need to within 6 months. So it is, monitored. So, are there any more questions?
No.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.